3 nights, a prince and 2 priests are seen being attacked by a cursed being looking for a child. The priest quickly starts praying as a holy shield is created to block the cursed spirit from attacking them. A boy of the star is seen approaching fast as he nears the cursed spirit. The spirit turns around as the boy continues to advance without fear. He activated a strong power that covers his body with his aura. His abilities are doubled as he swiftly strikes the evil spirit in one swoop. The boy, whilst having his sword blessed by the priest, he lifts up his sword as he ends the suffering of the cursed spirit. The amount of power he used has a price to pay, as every part of his body feels like breaking apart. Let's start from the epitome of this story. In the period when wielding the sword for the greater good meant honor and great strength, a boy named Vlad is struck by a lightning of black color in the outskirts of a city called Sora, a place of gambling, killing, and even human trafficking. Ever since that day, Vlad hears the voice of a man teaching him to wield a blade whenever he holds one. Vlad is seen standing in a blacksmith shop, staring at a magnificent sword. His childhood friend named Zemina comes and insults the sword. The blacksmith comes and sacks them, saying that it's his last piece of work and that he will give it to anyone who wishes to escape Sora for greater heights. Sora is divided into 5 sections. They are the Whore's Knight Jorge, Swine Butcherer, Gambler's Dice, Whale Hunter, and Money Bug headed by One-Armed Jack. Vlad belongs to the Whore's Knight as he is seen selling candles in his tavern. A man comes whilst dragging the hair of the tavern's workers, complaining that the candle Vlad was selling, which was said to burn until 5 minutes before it goes off, was fake. This pisses Vlad off because the man was beating their worker in two. The man's attitude could make them lose customers. Vlad turned a candle on as it burned down to exactly 5 minutes. He looks at the man with the intent to kill as he tells the man that he would murder him. He uses the stick to strike the man like a sword and later kicks him into a room. He beats the man up till the following day. Vlad saves a dark-skinned boy who was about to be sold because he was caught pickpocketing people. Vlad goes to meet his friend named Hoover. He explains the current situation of Sora to him as Vlad realizes that a war could arise at any time. We see One-Armed Jack of the Moneybug walk in a Whore's Knight as Vlad looks at him, showing discontent in his eyes. One of One-Armed Jack's men comes forward and breaks Vlad's candles, asking him to bring his madam. The people in the tavern have scared looks on their faces, as if they are waiting for a bloodbath to happen because they know Vlad wouldn't let them off easily. Vlad bows to pick up the candles when One-Armed Jack's man moves his right leg to kick. Vlad sees this as he uses his stick to strike the left leg away. He lifts the stick up and strikes the face of the attacker, ending the fight. The others want to attack Vlad as One-Armed Jack stops them. One-Armed Jack stands in front of Vlad as the duo look into each other's eyes. The pressure emitted from the two could break a whole building down. Just then, Jorge of the Whore's Knight comes in as he takes One-Armed Jack to see his madam. Sometime later, One-Armed Jack comes from the meeting and gives a gold coin to Vlad, asking Vlad to join his men. He leaves as Vlad hears Jorge calling his name. Jorge gives a dagger to Vlad as a gift, but the atmosphere shown by the other members and the madam herself meant danger was approaching. Vlad is seen training as he hears the voice telling him to narrow his attack. He instinctively does it as the attack becomes more powerful. Vlad is surprised as he wonders what kind of being had crawled its way up to his head. The next evening, we see a man named Stagna cleaning blood off his sword. Vlad comes, and it seems that Stagna was expecting him. Jorge had sent Vlad to go get Stagna to help in the upcoming battle. Stagna tries to intimidate Vlad, but later realizes that he is trying to intimidate the wrong person. Vlad just chuckles as he moves away. We see Vlad eating meat as Stagna asks for some in exchange for something Vlad wants, because a knight only takes as much as he is given. Vlad asks for Stagna. Stagna stands up as he closes his left eye to reach and deep his power. He shows his aura that shines as the moonlight. The duo get to Sora as Vlad sees the dead bodies of some of his comrades. He shows Stagna the back door as he goes through the front door. Vlad sees Jorge being wrapped in bandages as he tells him that Stagna uses aura. Jorge quickly moves Vlad behind him as we see Stagna come out from the back door. The look on Jorge's face shows that the person in front of him isn't Jorge, but a hunter sent by Jorge's old king to eliminate deserters. The impersonator sees Jorge as he smiles in a wicked way. The impersonator turns out to be called Godin, as he has come to kill Jorge. Jorge attacks with his sword whilst Godin was distracted, but finds Godin behind him. He follows up an attack when Godin blocks it. We see the two swordsmen fighting. Jorge is hit away as he falls from a great height. Godin senses danger as he blocks the dagger thrown by Vlad. He ignores Vlad and jumps to the ground. We see the other men standing by Jorge as they prepare to fight. Godin activates his aura as Vlad screams for him to stop. Godin moves faster than the blink of an eye as we see everyone on front of Godin dead. Vlad screams as he sees Jorge's head separated from his body. He is kicked away as Godin sees Vlad as a growing seed, not wanting to cut it down before it can spread its roots. With Jorge killed, Jorge's knight is completely defenseless. Zemina and Vlad escape into the blacksmith shop. Zemina cuts her hair and asks for the sword Vlad wanted as she promised to pay back later. We see the blacksmith carrying Vlad in a carriage. Two men from One-Armed Jack is seen checking the carriage when a dark-skinned guy named Otar is asked to check if there are people in the carriage. Otar turned out to be the brother of the dark boy Vlad saved. Otar allows them to pass in payment of what Vlad did for his brother. Vlad is poured into the refuse dam as he moves out of Sora. He talks to the person inside his head and says that he would help the person regain his memories, but in exchange for that, the person has to show him the way of his sword. Vlad says that he would train with the devil even if he has to, because to be able to kill a monster, one also has to become a monster. Months later, we see the second son of the Bayezid family named Joseph with his knight named Jaeger. Jaeger tells Joseph about a promising boy, part of the mercenary group. We see an ogre standing behind a mercenary. The ogre uses its club to strike the mercenary down, killing him in one hit. The ogre runs Rumpan as some of the mercenary members tries to run away. We see Vlad, with the fake name of Ryman, walking towards the ogre. He runs forwards as he cuts the ogre in the ribs. He dodges an attack by moving behind the ogre. He dodges a left swing, a right one, and roundhouse swing. The ogre lifts its club up and strikes down. The ogre cannot believe its eyes as Vlad cannot be seen anywhere. Vlad, with a chilling aura, appears behind the ogre. In a single strike, he cuts off the head of the ogre. Joseph tells Jaeger to do a background research on Vlad. Vlad is seen with a guy named Gerda who calls him captain. Vlad stands in a position that makes him look like he is praying. The other guys try to pray with him because they respect Vlad's consistency. In truth, Vlad is actually talking to the voice he hears whenever he holds the sword. Vlad goes to the priest's place for food. The priest says that Joseph's came to ask him if Vlad was to be trusted. Hearing this, Vlad contemplates whether to run away or face Joseph head-on. Before Vlad could make his decision, the voice senses someone approaching and tells Vlad. It turns out to be Jaeger as he has come to fetch Vlad for Joseph. Joseph asks Vault of his name when he says Ryman. Jaeger slaps Vlad in the face as Seth releases a killing intent while saying that he Habor's liars. He then mentions Ryman's real name, Vlad of Sora. Vlad has an angry look on his face as Jaeger kicks him to the ground. Joseph asks Vlad who his teacher is. We see Jaeger with his sword in his hands ready to strike Vlad down should he lie. Vlad says that his teacher came and went like lightning after passing the sword skills to him. Joseph then asks Vlad to serve under him whilst promising wealth, power, strength, and protection. We see Jaeger training Vlad outside. They complete their quota for the day as Jaeger leaves. Jaeger and Joseph discuss about Vlad in the tent. Jaeger doesn't like Vlad, but Joseph does. Because in his eyes, he doesn't see a boy, but instead he sees a hungry wolf waiting patiently for his prey to fall in place. In the night, we see Gerda on duty. He hears some noises as he sees a cursed spirit. The following morning, we see Gerda leading the guards to the place he saw the cursed spirit. They walk on frozen water when Gerda falls down. He sees hidden dead bodies in the frozen lake as they start to break out. The guards fight the dead walking towards them. Jaeger fears for his master, so he tells Vlad to go and protect the camp. Vlad goes with Gerda as they ride on a horse. We see Jaeger activating his aura and amplifying his power. With a single slash, he cuts most of the cursed bodies down. A knight comes to inform Joseph about the cursed spirit heading their way. This brings us to the beginning of the story. We see Vlad moving towards the cursed spirit without fear. The sorcerer controlling the cursed spirits loses control when Vlad slays the spirit. The sorcerer is scared as he feels like an animal is standing behind him. It turns out to be Jaeger, who is still in overpowered mode as he stands in anger. Next on Vlad of Sora, we see that Vlad has been taken to Joseph's family to be trained as a knight. The trainees there before him spits in Vlad's food as Vlad uses his spoon to scoop it away. The trainees are seen going away as Vlad speaks with an overwhelming aura. He asks of the names of the trainees and promises to pay them back in bloodshed. This makes the trainees think that they had messed with the wrong person. Subscribe to this channel to watch the next part of the video.